Based on record, the two best teams in the Big 12 are on the field right now. Kansas State taking on TCU for first place in the conference. And of course, for TCU, a top 10 team looking to stay undefeated overall. But in the conference, they're both undefeated. Based on the eyeball test, as of right now, I think we just got done watching the two best teams in the Big 12. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. You know why? It's your contribution, your engagement, your involvement, your discussion that you bring to the table that makes us what we are here at the Voice of College Football. Therefore, please do us a favor. Hit the like button. Helps us grow the network, build the channels, and so forth right here at the Voice of College Football. Give me a call tonight after all the big games on primetime, 11:30 Eastern, our call-in show. But let's wrap this one up because it was a big comeback for Oklahoma State. 1 week after blowing a 17-point lead in the second quarter to lose to TCU on the road in double overtime, 43-40. Oklahoma State trails in this one by 17, comes all the way back to down Texas at home, 41-34. And more disappointment for Texas. They look oh so good when they look good, don't they? Those skill position players, Xavier Worthy, all of them, Jatavian Sanders, Bijan Robinson, of course, might be the best running back in college football, and Quinn Ewers can spin it as well as anyone. But when you put it all together, they're letting down their fans again this year. Improved football team. They look better. They're playing better. The performance is better, but blowing games again. They blew a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter to Texas Tech. They blow a 2-touchdown lead here. All right, first half came down to this. Both offenses running up and down the field, but Texas even better than Oklahoma State. 31-24 as Oklahoma State missed a field goal at the end of the first half. Bijan Robinson ran for 93 yards in the first half. Roschon Johnson with 68, 161 rushing in the first half between Texas's two big backs. Texas rolled up 292 yards of total offense in the first half, 4 touchdowns in the first half, and those 31 points. The second half, a much different story, however, as the third quarter was pretty much went from a scoring barrage in the first half with 7 total touchdowns to just barely a touchdown as Oklahoma State got on the board, being down by, again, 17 points at one point and down a touchdown going into the second half. Texas had a drive going, but Trace Ford had a big sack for Oklahoma State on Quinn Ewers to stop that drive. And we headed into the fourth quarter in a tight ball game. Let's pick it up there. 34-24 fourth quarter. Did you see the catch that Stephon Johnson made for Oklahoma State, number 6? Check it out on the replay. Check out maybe the game replay here on YouTube. Deflected a couple times into his hands. Diving catch inside the 5-yard line. Got Oklahoma State to within a score in the fourth quarter. Let's keep in mind, Mike Gundy in his career at Oklahoma State has coached in, get this, 74 one-score games. He's won 47 of 74. 47 and 27 one-score games. You would think that would even out if it was just the law of averages and luck factoring in. Be average, you would be about 500 in one-score games. Mike Gundy, unless Oklahoma State's really playing down to its competition, and that wouldn't be the case over the course of 15 years. 47 and 27. So Mike Gundy doing something right. Game strategy, preparation, the poise of his team, fundamentals, all those things. 47 to 27 one-score games. Sark, 3-8 now at Texas. We know that they lost all those one-score games after they blew the game against Oklahoma last year when they were up by 3 touchdowns, and then it was just one-score loss after one-score loss. They looked like Nebraska last season. Now 3-8 Sark in one-score games. Keep that in mind. All right, 10 minutes left. Oklahoma State had scored a touchdown when Brennan Presley went in for the score there. Braden Johnson had a key slant for a third down conversion catch. Then you had Spencer Sanders had a big run. And keep in mind, he's been banged up, really banged up. He did not practice the week of the TCU game, maybe it showed. Spencer Sanders has not always been the most accurate passer in college football, but he's a gamer. He's tough. Man, he has logged so many games, so many minutes, starts for this Oklahoma State squad, and he had a big run in the drive that got it to within a touchdown, eventually tied the game. Jaden Nixon with the run. He had 64 yards on the ground. Okay. Again, Sanders didn't play practice against TCU that the week of that game. Oklahoma State, we had a tie game at 34 then. Bryson Green. Now, this depicts Texas football over the past dozen years, and maybe Sark hasn't cleaned it up yet. And we see a lot of business decisions made by college football players, not just NFL players, college football players. But when it counted in the clutch in a 34-all game with 3 minutes left, Bryson Green catches one. He had 5 catches for $133. All right. Deshaun Jameson, he had the tackle wrapped up. He let him go. And I'm not saying that Bryson Green's not a difficult man to bring to the ground. He is. So there are going to be tackles that can be broken, but the game is on the line. And Deshaun Jameson lets him slip away. Worse than that, Jaron Thompson just whiffed. He just ran by him, gave it the old just one arm. That's the effort I'm going to give. Horrible effort, if that's what you want to call it, out of Jaron Thompson and Deshaun Jameson, but especially Thompson at the safety position on what proved to be the game-winning touchdown for Oklahoma State. So that is Texas football in a nutshell in the past dozen years, and maybe it just hasn't changed. Maybe they just have so much talent that they are improved because they've acquired talent through recruiting, of course, and the transfer portal for this particular team. But still, those are losing plays. We hear about winning players and winning plays. That's a losing play. Okay, Quinn Ewers gets it back. He still has a chance to tie. It's 41-34. Cowboys at this point. Quinn Ewers was off in this one. Now, I did not see much of the first half. I watched the entire second half. 19 of 49 in this game for Quinn Ewers, and yeah, he was off. You can tell he can still spin it. Boy, he can spin it. He has loads of talent, but not a good game out of him. He did have a huge run. However, a holding call pulled the Longhorns back to a 3rd and 22. Mason Cobb had what would have been the game-deciding interception, but there was a false start by Texas that wiped out the pick, and Ewers made it bad. Just kind of a lazy throw in the flat on that one that was picked off by Cobb. Again, they get a second chance. They get new life. And then Ewers throws another pick. This time, Jason Taylor from his safety position playing center field runs over to the sideline. Mad dash to the football on Bijan Robinson, picks it off, stays in bounds. Okay. Texas did have all of its timeouts, though. So even though there was only about $1:45 left in the game, Texas calls the 3 timeouts on defense. They get the ball back. They've got about a minute left to play. They had a shot. They had 1 to 2 final plays with about 10 seconds left, but Ewers throws another pick down near the goal line. Kendall Daniels wrapped up the game for Oklahoma State. Cowboys win it in dramatic fashion, 41-34. Texas now 5-3, 3-2 in the conference. So it's going to be difficult for them to play themselves back into it, although at 3-2, they can win out, go 7-2. After the bye week, they've got tough road the next couple of weeks. Kansas State, TCU, Kansas, and Baylor. But, of course, they got to win them all to have a shot to get to the Big 12 championship game. They obviously don't have the tiebreaker against the Cowboys, and Oklahoma State at 3-1 in conference play have Kansas State, Kansas, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and West Virginia. They still have 5 to play in the Big 12. Spencer Sanders, again, my goodness, for all the practice that he missed 2 weeks ago, he got plenty of reps in this game, 34-57 for 391 yards. Oklahoma State wins a one-score game, as is Mike Gundy's standard. Sark loses another one-score game. He's 3-8 in such contests. Texas loses to Oklahoma State on the road. We called it right here at the Voice of College Football, even though the Cowboys were a 6-point dog. We picked them straight up. Hopefully you get my picks on Patreon. Join us for Texas postgame going on right now at the Voice of College Football Texas on the Texas channel. Check out Matthew and Brandon, D4 Sports, over on the Texas channel right now, and you can ask your comments and questions with Matthew and Brandon right here at the Voice of College Football. We've got our take on LSU and Ole Miss coming up. And again, late night tonight after all the primetime games, give me a call as we wrap up week 8 here at the Voice of College Football.